Hey everybody, welcome back to 100 Days of Halloween, and we are on day 11. So, for those of you who are new here, I'll give you a real quick rundown on what we're doing for the 100 Days of Halloween. To start off, my friend Rainee over at the Woolly Llama Shop had been talking to me, and she wanted to make a Halloween blanket for the Halloween season, which I did too because for the last couple years I've wanted to, always got too busy with lifey things and never got the chance. So the more she talked about it, I was like, okay, this is giving me the push so I can actually get one done this year, hopefully. Um, but how she wanted to do it was break down the full blanket into bite-sized pieces by doing it in 6 inch by 6 inch squares, and either finding granny squares that had like a really cool design for Halloween or the fall season, or finding fall Halloweenish appliques and putting them on the 6 inch squares. So I was like, perfect. This is doable, right? And so I told her, sure, we can cheer each other on and we can keep each other going and keep each other motivated. So, yes, yes, yes. So that's what we are doing. So, we're doing, like I said, 6 inch by 6 inch squares. They can be granny squares, they can be any kind of squares. If you want to join in and you don't want to do 6 inch, you can do 3 inch, you can do 4 inch, you can do 5 inch, however you want to do it. If you're not into Halloween, you can do fall theme and fall colors, leaves and pumpkins and, things like that. But if you're into Halloween, you can do spooky, you can do fun Halloween, you can do whimsical fun, which is kind of the avenue I'm going. I'm not really doing the gory, spooky, scary kind of stuff, just fun Halloween, like things that would make you giggle when you were a little kid. So um, I've been working on my squares since day one of the 100 days of Halloween, and now we are on day 11. So let's do a real quick rundown of the first 10, and then I'll show you my square for day 11. So on day one, and let me get these turned right, I did this little witchy hat on slime green right here. And I love that one. It is so cute. And then for day two, I did this little ghosty on purple. Day three, I did Frankie, and it's kind of like on this dark taupe brown kind of color. And the applique does not have the little bolts. And I'm going to add bolts to him because I think it'll give him more of that Frankie vibe. And as far as the appliques, whatever day I did the square for will have the information for the applique, whether it was a YouTube tutorial site or if it was just a web page, if it was just somebody's blog or whatever. If I'm able to, I will add links. Sometimes YouTube, and I think it's more my computer, kicks them out and it won't let me. So I just put the information in. But and then some of the squares that just have a design and there's no applique, I try and put the information, like what it's called, who the designer is, things like that, so that you guys can easily go back and say, oh, I like that one she did on day 5. Let me look in the description box and see where that came from. Do you see what I'm saying? And as always, in the description box, along with that information, will be Rainee's information as well, for her YouTube page called the Woolly Llama Shop. If you do not know who she is or you haven't been checking her out, go over there and check her out. She has a lot of awesome content, besides the 100 Days of Halloween squares that we're doing. Her and her husband have started an embroidery business and do some awesome things. And they actually created my logo, and I have had bags ordered and do intend on ordering some other things. So Just a little shout out to Rainee and her husband's shop. So that was day 3. Day 4, I did this skull on black right there. Day 5, I did this really cool spiral. And then day 6, I did this owl on a tree branch with a sparkly full moon and some sparkly stars. And that was 6. Day 7 was this little pumpkin applique. Day 8, my favorite, is this little black kitty silhouetted by a sunset. And everybody knows I love my kitties. And then day 9, I did this bat on electric blue. He's super cute. And he's sparkly. And then day 10, I did this swirl. Now, this swirl right here, the only way you can get this one, as far as I'm aware, is there is another Halloween cow that is going on, and it is by, I cannot remember the name of the girl who designed it, but Sirdar has been putting it on, and the way you get the blanket pattern, it's coming out in, is it 6-week increments? Where every week they're dropping parts of the blanket for 6 weeks, or is it 8 weeks? I can't remember. But you have to sign up, and they send you the email letting you know it's available for you to download with a clickable link, and you can go in there and get the pieces and parts. Well, week 2, which came out on Wednesday, there are 3 different little granny square designs that will be going into this blanket, and this is one of them, and I decided I was going to practice it, seeing as how I just got my kit and I have not been able to start the Sirdar Halloween cow. But I decided I was going to practice the square and see how well it turned out, and I picked my own colors. I think they used black and white, and I can't remember what it's trimmed out in. I would have to look, but I did my own. I did orange and black in the center, and then this gecko green on the outer side. So that was day 10. So the first 10 days, right here, and how we're doing it, since there's 100 days and there's 6-inch squares, is we're going to do rows of 10. So you'll have 10 going across and 10 up and down. And so by the time we're done, we'll have 100 of these. And so with 6-inch squares plus the join, putting them together, the blanket's going to be a little over 60 by 60 by doing the 6-inch squares. And so there's the first 10 days. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So what did I do for day 11 to start the next 10? Well, I didn't bring the yarn in here because I was using scrap balls. So I did a solid black granny square. And then I pulled out some orange, of course, some white, and then some yellow. So I did a candy corn. And there's no pattern for this. I just winged it and made a candy corn. I was going to make them a little smaller and put maybe 2, but then I was like, nah, we'll just do a big one. And the top got a little wonky, and I tried to fix it when I was sewing it on, but it's okay. It's my blanket. It just makes it that much more, got my mark on it, right? Because Missy's always going rogue. But I did find some patterns on the interwebs for candy corns, but this is the size that I wanted right here, and I didn't find one that was exactly the size that I could tell. So I just went ahead and I eat candy corn. I know there's always this whole thing every year. You either love them or you hate them, just like peeps at Easter time. I happen to like candy corn. I grew up on candy corn and the little mallow pumpkins. Um, and I think I said this in one of the other videos, just an FYI. If you eat a piece of candy corn with peanut, it tastes like a payday candy bar. So every year I have to get a little container of the candy corns and a jar of the roasted peanuts, and I have payday, just one little nibble at a time, a candy corn and a peanut. So there's my candy corn for day 11. So now that I have the first 10 done, I am going to try this week and start putting them together because I don't want to wait till the very end where I'm trying to sew 100 squares together. Mm-mm, ain't happening. I want to be able to work on it as we go, and that way, because I know a lot of us get overwhelmed when we have a bunch of squares to do. But yes, this is day 11, my cool candy corn. So there's that, guys. Um, and come back for tomorrow for day 12. But I'm also going to be working on some content, and I'm thinking I may put it out on Monday. Um, for those of you who have been around a while, you know I am from the state of Tennessee. Well, not from here, but I reside here currently. And as of Friday, August 1st, we have something called the Great Tennessee Yarn Tour. And it goes from August 1st until August 30th, 31st, the end of August. So from the first day to the last day of August, it lasts the entire month. And it's kind of like a yarn crawl that a lot of states have, but most yarn crawls only last like a weekend or a week or whatever. What Tennessee does with the Great Tennessee Yarn Tour is earlier in the year, I think it's maybe end of March, beginning of April, you start getting an email. And when they're ready to start selling the tickets or a passport, um, you can purchase the ticket. They're $25, and that makes you a yarn tourist. And there are certain perks you get to being a yarn tourist. You get a swag bag, which the project bags are awesome. I can show you one from last year, but on Monday, I will show you the one from this year. This is last year's right here, the Great Tennessee Yarn Tour 2024, Uniquely You. And then on the back of this bag, it listed the places that all the local yarn shops or LYSs that were participating. And it gives the city or town that they are located in. And basically, when you purchase your ticket, you have to pick a home base, whichever store you want to pick up your yarn tour passport bag, and it comes with all kinds of goodies inside. We'll talk about that on Monday. I haven't even looked. I haven't even looked in mine this year. And on the first day, you can't pick them up early. You pick it up, and you are entitled to, as a yarn tourist, certain perks, discounts on certain things. There's specially dyed yarns that are only available to yarn tourists or minis, things like that. Nobody else can purchase them. And there's prizes that are given away from these places for the yarn tourists that have come in and shopped. Plus, the main Tennessee Yarn Tour, um, it's not a company, group that puts this whole thing on. They do a big grand prize at the end of it all. A lot of fun, but we will go more in depth on that on Monday. And so today, being Saturday, he worked last night, but when he got home, he took a shower, he stayed awake. And so we went on a journey to an LYS to pick up our tourist bags. Yes, he does get a ticket too, so he can participate. and that way we get two. Um, and I'm still undecided what I'm going because I have 2 from last year of the bags, and, we'll cover that on Monday anyways. But we did the little journey today, and I did take some video footage, and so I will be tying that in with the video where I'm talking about it and showing you some goodies. So, I guess with that, I'm gonna let you guys go. So be looking forward to that on Monday, I believe, by the time I get it all recorded and spliced together, edited, and all that stuff to include everything. And but until then, come back tomorrow for day 12 and see what square I have in store for you. Um, I was gonna give you a little sneaky peek because I got it sitting right over here, but I'm not gonna. You'll just have to come back and see. But anyways, I love you guys. And we will talk tomorrow. And until then, enjoy the rest of your Saturday and or your weekend. And if you're in Tennessee, let me know if you're participating in the Tennessee Yarn Tour and if you've hit any of the LYSs yet and where you intend on going. Um, and when you intend on because I know they're all over the state. So, um, with that, I am going to let you guys go and leave you with these parting words. Life is not perfect, so be kind. Try and create something new every day and keep reaching for the stars and your yarn. So, until next time, guys, love you bunches. Bye for now.